Okay, we are recording. Charles, how you doing today?
I'm doing fab, thank you. I've just been driving around in my friend's car singing my unreleased music at the top of my lungs. So it's been a lovely day.
Was your friend in the car as well?
Yeah, a couple of my mates actually who were just belting them out.
Fantastic. Well, look, we will get onto your music, of course, in the duration of today's show. Um, but we're going to kick things off with what I imagine will be someone else's music. When I ask you to start your playlist, Charles, by telling me the song that you think has the greatest ever intro, please.
Okay, it is. I've cheated because it's two songs by the same artist and I couldn't choose.
Right. I mean, that's being a bit greedy, but I'll let you go. Go on.
Sorry, this may be a common theme. I'm not very good at making decisions. Okay, they're both songs by Jet,
Hmm.
an Australian band. Um, it's either Are You Gonna Be My Girl or Cold Hard Bitch. And I
Okay.
couldn't make a decision between the two. So
Okay. Well, look, Are You Going to Be My Girl's obviously the more commercially known hit, right?
yeah,
It's got a really good intro, that, hasn't it?
it's got a really good intro.
Mm, mm.
Do 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 do. It just makes you want to get. It makes me want to get on a table and
But do you know what
dance.
it sounds like? Right? I think it sounds a little bit like Iggy Pop's Lust for Life. Like it could quite easily be the opening scene of Train Spotting. Uh, or Supreme's You Can't Hurry Love.
Yeah, it has got a bit of that.
Yeah, but all the same, absolute banger. Look, let's talk intros, right? So you've gone for an intro there that's pretty instant, and being a young artist, uh, uh, considerably younger than me, I grew up in a world where you'd go and buy a vinyl and you'd listen to the radio, and I know that obviously vinyl's seen a huge resurgence again in recent times, but we're also in a world where TikTok and streaming services are dominating, the marketing avenues of music, and what we see there. And this is a 52-year-old man's view on this. What you see there is something that seems to move very, very quickly, and I say that by watching my children. And 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 so with that in mind, I often wonder if these big elongated intros that you would get, like let's say Bohemian Rhapsody or something like that, you know, if you took that to a label now, people would be like, "Oh, seriously, like you can't have like a minute and a half before the chorus; it just doesn't work."
To be fair, the label said that then anyway
Like, yeah, yeah,
about that
true,
song. The label were like, "This sucks."
true, true. But do you get where what I'm saying? We live in a very fast, don't bore us, get us to the chorus kind of world. So anyway, with all of that in mind, does that kind of uh, like does any of that filter through into your creative process?
Like it doesn't stop me having intros. Um, Definitely not. Um, I think that there are certain songs that kind of when you're writing them, you know if they, especially if they're like very poignant, if they're very emotionally driven, for me that transcends like the the need or the worry or the even thinking about whether people are going to skip it or not, you know, like it starts to be about something else when you if you're really like writing something from the heart. So those like piano ballads, I always want to set the scene. I want to paint a picture with the chords before I even, you know, get lyrics involved. So in those moments, like I'm not thinking about, um, you know, whether people are gonna scroll past it or not.
Sure.
But there's definitely an element of, you know, the way people consume music now. Um, Maybe not beating around the bush and kind of getting into the verse, or there was a real trend for a while, or like I could feel it from producers that I was working with kind of like around COVID time when um TikTok really kind of took over, that it was just a done thing to like kind of have the tagline of the song in the first like 15
Yeah.
seconds before you dropped into the verse. which is just very jarring. But it kind of worked for a
Yeah,
bit, you know, like people needed that hook line, that tagline to stick around because you're competing for people's attention. Um, so yeah, it definitely has changed or like reinformed the way that you know the songwriting process happens, and you can't not really consider how people now consume music
yeah,
because there's more music coming out than ever, and people have shorter attention spans than they've
of
ever
course.
had. But I try not to let it, you know, get in the way of something that feels good.
Yeah, yeah, perfect. Tell me the first song that you remember hearing that had an emotional impact on you, please.
I didn't even need to like stutter with this one. It's it's Soulmate by Natasha Bedingfield.
Okay.
Um, I like I definitely loved so much music way before I heard that song, but I listened to a lot of music that was the stuff that my mum and dad liked, the stuff that my grandparents would listen to, the stuff that my brother loved, and I definitely gelled with a lot of that stuff. But I remember hearing that song and feeling like it was for me, and just this, I guess, like yeah, just like feeling of like yearning and like wanting to be, I don't know, as a kid, because I definitely didn't want a boyfriend at the age of like 8, but I think I just wanted to be like chosen. I don't know, and that song just like really mirrored that feeling of yearning, and I just wanted to sing it, and I just remember like we used to off our kitchen. There was like a little box room that housed the computer because at that point the computer was attached to like a massive box in order to power it, so it needed a whole room. And I'd sit in there on YouTube and I'd just like sing along to the karaoke of that song, and it just felt like an emotional exorcism to sing it. Um, and her voice, and yeah, I just that song Soulmate was, still is. I still listen to it, and I just really feel every lyric of that song, um, and kind of wish it was mine, to be honest.
Yeah. You you mentioned up until that point you was listening to music that your brother or your folks or your grandparents were listening to. Um, Tell us a little bit about what music was being played there, and was home a musical environment, and was there instruments laying around, and tell us a little bit about home and where was it?
So, well, I'm from Hull, so born and raised in Hull, and all my family, like immediate family, extended family, love music, and I feel so lucky to have been brought up in a very like practical, musical, live music centric environment. Like there was always music on. Every car journey was soundtracked by incredible music. My auntie used to take me to music festivals from like like being really young, probably like 6 years old. I was going to festivals. My grandparents both sang, like because they loved it and they earned a bit of extra cash, like singing in pubs and bars and stuff. So I've just absorbed. I used to go into their rehearsals with them. They had like a room where they had all the musical instruments. Grandad had everything on. He had everything on mini disc, and each mini disc corresponded to a lyric book. And they would just leave the setup on for me if I wanted to after they'd finished rehearsing, and I'd get up and I'd get my lyrics from the book and I would put a song on and I would sing. Um, I play tambourine, cabasa. They had like all the instruments lying around, which was just an absolute like dream for someone who was already interested in music. Um, and yeah, like me and my brother would. He had his like Sony like Discman thing, and he'd have his like there's them zip up carry massive things with all the CDs in, and he listened to the Fray. He loved Hanson, which he'd kill me for saying that. And he's always loved like the Foo Fighters and all those kind of bands and the Fray. And then like my mum loved Macy Gray, um, and Madonna, and dad was like REM, Coldplay, like still is like Chris Martin's his man crush. And then my grandparents was old soul music and rock, like Tina Turner, Joe Cocker, Otis Redding, Sam Cooke, just like incredible music. But from everyone, I was just getting a bit of everything.
Yeah, you've been spoilt there.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, I was getting
you've
it
literally you've
all.
got it all and handsome. Like
Yeah, yeah. I mean, who doesn't need a bit of that every now and then? Yeah, very lucky. And I just got to kind of be around it, and I loved it all. And then anything that was in the charts at the time was like we were listening to a lot of Robbie Williams, and I was obsessed with Kylie Minogue. Um, but it was always on. So like I just got to kind of absorb it all and be a bit of a
yeah.
sponge, which I just think is I just feel really lucky, that I got to see so much live music, that I got to witness my grandparents doing music because they loved it, not because they were trying to be famous. And yeah, a bunch of people that just really engaged with music in general.
And Hull's such a musical place. It's like I lived in Hull for a few years,
No
and
way.
I did,
Character
and
building.
oh, fantastic! And I back in my band days, I must have played the Adelphi God knows how many times,
Oh, what a gaff.
and what a gaff! And it's still going, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, props to that.
It's got some history there. I mean, Hull's got like predominantly like an indie kind of rock scene, and it's not in your face. Like you don't necessarily like know about it. I don't think that people would openly associate that with Hull, but it is there. And people love music. It's a bit better now maybe, but Hull often gets missed off that circuit just because it's not really on the way to anywhere.
Yeah, yeah,
But when people do come to Hull, people are just buzzing to see stuff. So I think
absolutely.
people sell well when they do come.
Yeah. You got Paul Heaton. Paul Heaton's, it doesn't get any cooler than Paul Heaton. And you got everything but the girl. You got loads of cool music coming out of
Yeah, there's
Hull.
a lot, and like Bowie's band, they
Yeah,
were
of
all
course.
from Hull.
Mm, yeah,
Great
absolutely.
musicians.
Right, well, look, let's stay in the formative years for this one. Tell me the song that reminds you of your time at school, please.
So the one I went with for this is, it's like saying it out loud has now made me realize that how many people around me like communicated with me via music. But a really good mate of mine, still a good mate of mine to this day, when I moved away, so for 2 years we moved from Hull to Singapore, quite the stark change, I won't lie, made me like a CD, like a mixtape of just all our favorite music because we were obsessed with, this is when I was 14, so I really got
Wow,
into like,
that's a important age, and to go from Hull to
yeah,
Singapore,
yeah,
that
I
must
was
have been quite
raging.
quite jarring.
Yeah, it's the worst age to try and make new mates. It's
Yeah.
it's awful. Anyway, we made it through. But yeah, I was really really into like kind of my indie stuff at that point. I was listening to a lot of Mumford and Sons, Arctic Monkeys, Catfish and the Bottlemen. I was obsessed with Catfish. But there was the first song on the mixtape was what I would listen to when I got on my bus in the morning. It was the first song. So I had to get like this new bus route to school, and I was like feeling very unsettled at the time. And so when I think about school, the song that I think of is Youth by Daughter. And if I put it on now, it makes that sounds bad, it makes me feel sick. No, I get this like butterfly feeling in my stomach that I'm on my way to a school where I don't know anyone. So yeah, that is the one that
You
reminds me of
still
school.
get that anxious kind of
Yeah.
churn in your stomach.
Yeah, but I think I'm like
Wow.
that with music in general. Like when I was saying about that Natasha Bedingfield song, like I have the way I am with music, I'm very intense, the way that I would associate something with a feeling. So I think if something soundtracked a moment of my life, it will just transport me back there. Same with anything I've ever written about my life. Like when I perform the song, even if I'm completely over the thing, I'm suddenly right back there. And yeah, it's the same with other music that has kind of been important to me.
Did did you always want to be a musician?
Um, yeah, I just wasn't consciously aware maybe that I was being that kind of intentional with it. Like it was just kind of like breathing. I think for the most part of my childhood, it was just I just loved it. You know, no one ever told me to do it. Um, I was never having like singing lessons at school that I had to be told to go and practice for. I just wanted to sing all the time, and I started writing from a very young age too. And I didn't do that because I was trying to be a songwriter. I didn't know what that was. I didn't know that was a job. Buzzing that it is, but I was just doing it to process what I was feeling, just the same way people would write in a diary. So it was only when in school you started having those like career days, and when I answered the questions, it would take me down like a creative route, and then it would be like, you should be a music teacher. And I was like, oh, but I don't want to do that, you know? So then that's when it started kind of the cogs were turning in the sense of, so what and how do I do this, you know, to sing? Is that a job? How do you get there? What's the route? Still don't know the answer to that question, by the way. But
The journey's fun though, right?
yeah, God, it's good. It's a roller coaster, but I guess maybe like 15 and 16, I was like, oh, well, the end of school's coming. So what do I want to do and how am I
Yeah,
gonna make it work? So yes is the shorter answer I could have
yeah.
given you, but kind of no as well.
Tell me the first song you remember buying from a record shop.
Uh, well, it was an album
Okay.
because I was a bit after the time of buying singles, but I'm pretty sure it would have been Back to Black, Amy Winehouse.
I mean, this is generally the one where people say something really embarrassing, and you've just chimed in with Back to Black. I mean, it don't get any cooler than that, right?
And I think that there would be some more embarrassing stuff, but it was probably bought for me. Like for Christmas, I would ask for albums. So I definitely got like the Pop Princess compilation. Not embarrassing, full of bangers. Um, but I think in terms of like an album that I will have purchased, it would be that. It was between two. I couldn't remember if it was that or if it was Rock Ferry, Duffy. But I think it was Back to Black.
Yeah. Does that album still resonate with you now?
One of the it's one of for me it's one of the best albums ever. I just think it was so I think the reason I still love it and the reason it still inspires me is I loved hearing a woman be like not very ladylike in like the I guess the stereotypical way that you were expected to conduct yourself and speak as a woman. It was quite like brash and a bit rude at times, bit foul mouthed and ugly lyrically in places, and I don't know. I remember feeling like a little bit on edge listening to the songs and feeling like a bit young to be hearing it. To be honest, I remember being like, "Oh, I I've not heard about like this kind of feeling before. I've not heard someone say this in a song. Does that really happen? You know?"
Yeah.
But for me, is like you know very rare. You get artists that make you stop like that. Never
Yeah.
mind the vocals, never mind the musicality. Like what her and Mark Ronson created, like sonically, is it felt like one of a kind. It felt retro, but in a way we'd not heard before. Um, but yeah, that was there were so many female artists at that time that were just phenomenal, especially vocally, incredible songwriting. Like Duffy was one, Adele was another. You know, there was really amazing stuff happening, but there's just something different about Amy. It was
I think it was her at the sweet spot, and Mark Ronson just really finding his stride as well. And I think to then have them two together, and just she'd obviously been listening to Shangri-Las and the Angels and the Ronettes and like all of that girl group stuff, and he just nailed the production, and it just
Yeah,
worked perfectly together. Absolutely phenomenal.
yeah.
Solid choice. Solid choice. Okay, the song that soundtracked your year's clubbing, and I say that like you got your pipe and slippers out. You're still brand new. You're probably still out clubbing, and
I'm fucking not. Absolutely not. I got out of my system so early. Like
right,
I was in there when I shouldn't have been, and that
right.
was much more exciting. Now I'm like, oh, someone ID me. I want to borrow someone
What
else's
was
ID.
what was the indie club in Hull called?
Well, you could not have teed this up better because that's what this song is from. The Welly.
The Welly. Panagalactic Gargle Blaster was this cocktail that they used to drink in there all the time.
Yeah,
The Welly.
So Thursday night was Jelly Welly. It was the big indie night of the week. Um, it's still to this day. Like I don't really go clubbing. I'm not that interested anymore. But that was my perfect night out. Um, every single song was just like on my playlist, so I just loved it. And every Thursday, without fail, and anyone from Hull who's been to that night will know this, that at like 2 a.m. whenever they shut, the last song they played would be Zombie, Jamie T. And
What a tune.
that is my soundtrack of like me and like all the boys from home. We would be binned by that point as well. So you'd
Yeah.
just be like throwing each other around. Um, absolute banger.
Oh, fantastic. Shout out to Welly. I love it. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
that shows how that place has been open a long time because, yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
was having it
Still
there
going.
probably 30 years ago. Like, love it. Love it.
Great venue. Great venue.
All right, from clubbing, let's take you home. And I'm going to ask you now for a favourite song from an artist from your home county, please.
Um, I am gonna say just because he's one of my good pals, that my fave is gonna be Callum Scott, and it's gonna be. I actually didn't write down the title of this.
One of my all-time favourite guests as well was Callum. We had such a lovely time when he was on
He's
this
funny
show.
bastard, isn't
Yeah.
he? He is hilarious. I'm gonna go for. We'll go. You are the reason.
Nice.
And that song was not only a song by him, but it's also a song written with two other writers who I absolutely adore. They are incredible songwriters. And one of my most special songs that came out, oh my God, like 6 years ago now, 5, 6 years ago, was written with them as well. And they just have this way of like writing a ballad that hits you in the gut.
Lovely. That's what ballads are meant to do, right?
Yeah.
Right, it's your last track, and I want you to tell the listeners of this show a song that you think many of them may not know that you would like them to hear.
I should have done one of mine, but I haven't. It's um it's a song by Narvasi and Devon. They did a collab EP and it's called Take It Back. And it's an absolute tune. Um Devon is got a solo project, but she's also in a band called Wild Rivers, so a great Canadian three-piece band. And then Narvasi is the artist project of a producer and musician called Phil Simmons, and they're just crazy talented people. And it was really cool. Like the Narvasi project's been doing quite a few collaborations, and this one was just like they really hit on something. Um, so yeah, take it back. Definitely go check it out.
Fantastic. Well, Charles, we put together a little playlist with all of the songs that we've spoken about today. So people that have been listening can then go head over to Spotify and listen to your playlist of songs as well. Um, as well as that, we'll put some of your music on there, which we haven't yet spoke about. So we now need to find out what you're up to. What's going on?
So I'm in a bit of a flow at the moment. I'm just putting tunes out. It's the most relaxed and nonchalant I've ever been um about releasing music, and it's really great. I've been holding on to um a body of work for like over 3 years. Um and it's been weighing pretty heavy, just not knowing what to do with it,
Sure.
where to start, how to release it. And I just kind of got to the point where I was like, well, I either do it or I don't. And if I don't start, it's gonna rot in my phone
Yeah.
forever. Um, and it's just been really freeing to just start the process and see how it goes, and hope it finds a few people that enjoy it, and it's better served out there than it is for me, because I don't need it anymore. So it's nice. I'm letting it go. It's all about like first major heartbreak, which plenty of people will be able to relate to. So yeah, I'll let the heartbroken people have it because I'm all right now.
Good. Good. And the heartbreak music, like so much music's heartbreak, and it's what it's about, right? It's like if you can find that positive in a negative situation and get something good from it, then why not?
Yeah, I think it's we're all just we're all just processing stuff, aren't we? Like, you know, no one's got it figured out. And music has this amazing way of someone making you feel seen and heard. And, you know, even though we all go through heartbreak or loss or like existential crises, somehow, even though we know logically that everyone goes through this, you feel really like singular.
Yeah.
You feel like you're going through something that's so unique to you and so painful that no one could possibly relate, which is why people find it hard to talk to other people about it. So I love that music can kind of like find its way to those people. And if you are kind of brave enough to write a song, because it is brave, you know, to like starting to put it out. If that finds someone who feels like they're on their own and they hear that and think, oh no, this is like this could be me, then that's an amazing thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, okay, so music's coming as and when, and you're not feeling the pressure, you're just enjoying it and you're flowing. Um, live, what's happening?
So I did a show a couple of weeks ago, and it was just a like a little showcase thing. We didn't sell tickets, we invited some fans down, which was really nice. I started releasing music like just before everything changed. So like this whole like TikTok world, which I'm trying to embrace now, was not didn't exist when I first started putting out music. Um, so all of my fans found me at a show because the first year I was releasing music, I played 130 or 140 gigs.
Wow.
And so I know them all. They all know me. I've met them. They've seen me play live. They've seen me road test music. So it felt really nice to just invite those people down. They didn't have to pay to come. You know, I just got to like showcase this music for the first time. A lot of it before it's even come out. There's only
Yeah.
like at this point there was 3 songs out. Um, and I haven't been playing shows for a while. I took a big kind of step back from music for a couple of years. So it was really nice to be like, oh yeah, I'm good at this. Like this is my
Yeah,
thing.
absolutely.
And I definitely want to do more. And if I had all the money in the world, I would. But I'm I'm trying to, I'm trying to build something that can kind of sustain itself. So if I play a load of shows right now, I'm going to be pretty bankrupt,
Yeah.
because that is the ugly truth of live now. It's hard to make
Yeah.
money. People at the top of their game are also having conversations about how they're going to make their margins okay and profitable for a gig. Um, so if I could, I would play a million shows, but I'm just going to be a bit more considered, a bit more business smart, so that I don't have to, you know, leave my flat.
Absolutely, mate. Damn right. Um, If people want to keep up to speed with everything that's happening, any shows, any releases, anything else, where's the best place to keep up to speed with you?
Um, any of my socials, it's all Charls, and it's Charles but spelt different to the king. There's no E in it. So Charls. And yeah, if people really want to know what's going on, then in my bio on my Insta, they can kind of subscribe to my mailer, and that's where I send a little love letter every month to those lovely people. And yeah, we send out any data. We try and collect data about like who wants a show and where, so that when we do put on some gigs, we know where to go. And yeah, just anything about new music will go via that as well. So yeah,
Fantastic. And that's the link in your bio. So if it's cool with you, when this drops, we'll tag you in it. So if people aren't following you already, we make it nice and easy for them to go and do so.
fab. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Wonderful. Charles, it's been delightful talking records with you. And it was nice to get nostalgic about Hull as well. So
I know the welly. We have to tag the welly in this. They deserve
absolutely,
it.
mate. Absolutely. All right, I'm going to press stop, but don't go anywhere.